Well, enjoy my possibly crisper sounding voice now that I am back in my homestead.
Oh.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
your
my
last audio was in mono, so I had to like.
yeah, because it was from my phone.
But that's okay. No one
That's
will even care.
we're on the
No one
road.
will even notice.
Now I'm on my
Yeah.
computer because I can't travel with it. One time I did travel with my computer and it was fun for the one time I did it, but I don't like to do it anymore.
Too much. How big is your computer?
It's not huge, but it's like a smaller compact tower, but it's not a laptop, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I did it all so I could play the Star Wars Last Jedi game. It was worth it. It was worth
That's
it.
some serious devotion.
It's yeah. Hey, the next one's coming out. I'm really excited.
What's it called?
The Last Jedi 2. I don't know if it has a name for
The
it
second
yet.
Last Jedi.
The second Last Jedi.
There's another Last Jedi.
Still the Last Jedi.
That sounds
Right.
quite lonely.
So,
Hello.
ooh, hi everybody, welcome. This is our Radio
Welcome.
Voices.
Welcome to the podcast episode. Hold on, what president is it? 7. Welcome to episode 7.
Wow,
Look at us go.
look at us. I'm proud. What is this
We haven't been
president's-
uploading them.
What? That's okay. I mean, we will eventually.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
What's the president's name that we're looking at today?
His name is Andrew Jackson, and he's the crazy hair guy.
The crazy, right? The eagle hair. But then also,
The
I've seen photos, and he looks super old in the actual photos that they have of him.
yeah, he looks like an old prune by the time he dies. He has quite a light. Oh, okay, well, I'll get into it. But the most interesting thing about this is just like his backstory. I'd say
Ooh.
he's got like a brooding backstory,
Interesting.
and like also like just kind of a good middle story too.
Cool.
What if I told, as a little teaser, this guy perpetually had 2 bullets in his body,
That's amazing.
and that it just one was right near his heart.
And so they just had to leave
I
it there?
won't get. Yeah, because I guess they didn't want to like.
They
do
didn't have the
surgery near
technology
his
of,
heart.
of steady
Yeah, I
hands.
guess also that too.
And so they're like, well, if we do surgery, you might die, but if we leave it, there's more chance that you'll live. So,
And you'll be a badass.
see, would you
Okay,
say
well-
he's the 50 Cent of the presidents?
Yeah. There's definitely a very gangster. Okay, so you haven't seen Hamilton, but there's a song about how they used to duel each other with pistols. And this guy got in a duel.
And weren't those
And
illegal?
that's it.
Like, wasn't those like against the law, or were they still cool with it then?
It was like a gentleman thing that gentleman did. But I think like it's like a gentleman's agreement that you just don't tell
Got it.
when you're dead.
Got it. Because the only knowledge I have of duels is from the hit Netflix series that I can't remember the name of. But it's the, like, romantic... Oh, man, my brain.
Bridgerton?
Bridgerton, thank you. They did a duel in that one, and that was, like,
Oh yeah.
a bunch of miscommunication.
I watched a little bit of that. It was kind of sappy for me.
Oh, yeah.
But-
yeah.
I watched season 2, but there was one character I really liked. She was like a secret pen writer. What were they called? What was her name? Lady something. or other?
Penningsworth or Pennyworth or
Yeah, that's a pretty cool story.
something like that. Yeah. That's what the next season's going to be. I think it's going to be, like, her story.
Oh,
like
that
the-
sounds a lot more interesting than just
Than
characters
the,
wondering if
the
they should
brother
have
that
sex
was
with each other.
scared of bees.
I don't think I saw that part.
Oh yeah, basically you find out that they're sorry. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the second season. of
That's
Bridgerton.
alright. Oh yeah.
You
Well,
find
if you
out.
haven't seen it by now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you find out that his dad apparently had a bee allergy and got stung by a bee when he was a kid, and they of course didn't know what it was, and so then he's lived his life all these years since he was a childhood thinking that bees are like murderers and like hates bees. and that's why he freaks out because a bee lands on like his lady, and he's like, "Oh my god, she's gonna die!" And she gets stung, but she's not allergic, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have to be scared of bees
Been
anymore."
a lie. Well, he does though, doesn't he?
Well, I guess it was his dad that was allergic, not him. So I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now, when does this check start?
The next episode or the next season.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound very sexy to me.
The, oh, the sex happened. I think after that.
Before and after.
Before and after. I think once he was like, "Oh my god, you're not gonna die," then he was like, "Let's do it again." In slow-mo.
Oh. and whoa, with the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack playing.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting off task. Let me tell you about.
Tell us.
Okay, well, I don't want to start. I want to start at the beginning. The most excellent.
That's
place
a great.
to start.
Yeah, place of great to start.
So, first of all, before Andrew Jackson even was born, his father died when he was just but a in utero.
Uteri.
His father died in a freak logging accident.
What makes it a freak logging accident?
Oh, let me
Like,
remember.
because that to me that's described as like he was walking down the street and a log fell on him. But I'm assuming he like worked.
No,
in
I
logging
think he was
business.
like a logging.
Got it.
It doesn't. Nowhere did it say freak accident. I'm just
okay.
embellishing.
I will
embellishing the
interpret
truth.
that as he was a expert logger, and the last place you would think to expect him to die would be at his job because he's such a good logger.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe he was logging on the water and standing on a log, and then
It just jumped out at him and took him down.
And then a shark came up and grabbed him.
Classic lake sharks.
We'll never know because Wikipedia doesn't say.
Soon we'll have a time
It just
machine.
said he died at the age of 29. Whoa, that's very young to die. In a logging accident while clearing land.
Wow.
3 weeks before his son was born, so he was but a fatherless child. And then it gets worse. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
Afterwards, his mother Elizabeth, and he had two brothers, including himself, and then so he kind of grew up in the frontier, like the more western, or at least as west as it got back then. And he was like a child during the British, like in 1876.
Mm-hmm.
Was but a child, and apparently, oh no, sorry, no, 1700s. I'm getting confused. And so a British soldier came into his house, and they basically like held them hostage, and like cut them with a sword. Him and his brother. Oh, sorry, and another one of his brothers died, I think, before that.
Jesus. So he does not like the British, or does not.
Yeah. He's got like a Batman backstory towards the British because they kind of like held him hostage and his family, and his mother and his brother died, so he was an orphan. Everyone in his family died but him at the age of 14.
Jeez. So he was.
Oh no! So she died. She died of cholera, but not from that situation. She died
cholera.
last.
Yeah. That's a classic
Classic
ailment.
way to die.
Yeah. Which was just basically, I think cholera was just a like inflammation of the lungs that they didn't know what to do with, so people would just like cough to death. But now we have antibiotics, so go antibiotics.
And go.
Go modern medicine. Get it, girl.
Okay, so picture the scene: a young orphan, 14 years old, not a penny. Well, maybe he had a penny. Maybe he had a couple pennies, but he became a guy who made saddles in the new frontier, and he hated the British. Boy, did he hate them. And then he trying to remember. Then he studied to become he studied law, and then he as they do, and then he started becoming a general
The classic
and
transition from lawyer to general.
yeah, why do you think that was the case?
Um, I mean, I think it's like a power thing, right? Like if you're a lawyer and then you go like a lawyer, attorney general, and then usually attorney generals will then become like actual governors. And then basically, I think an attorney general is like if there's like a group of lawyers, you become the leader of those group of lawyers. In my like very simple terms of what that means. And then they go, hey, that guy's smart. Let's make him governor. Let's make him president.
The funny thing is about this guy is he seemed like a right old asshole, except for when he was a general. He was like the nicest guy in the world, which was funny. Like he'd give like a soldier like the shirt off his back if he, and then they loved him for it. But like he was kind of like a crotchety.
Maybe he's like a master manipulator though, where he was like his deep down in his soul he was a crotchety like grumpy old person, but then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna catch more flies with honey, so I'm gonna give the shirt, and they're gonna love me for it.
I guess so. He was a slave owner. He bought his first slave.
Okay, so that's a negative point.
Negative points. I think the last Quincy, did he have slaves? Do you know? You might not remember.
I don't think so.
Because I remember I looked it up and it said like John Adams was the only one in like the first 12.
Father did, so I would assume he would.
No, his father didn't.
His father didn't. Okay, so then if his father did, then I feel like he wouldn't, because it usually became a like inheritance thing. Like if you, as you would inherit like your land or the house or the family name, if there were any slaves in your family, they would like it would just continue down the family line. So I would suspect that John Quincy also didn't have slaves. So far the Adams family is winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything, but I can't confirm that I don't see anything. But,
until we figure out a time machine and go back in time and ask.
So this guy, Andrew Jackson, he had quite a few slaves. And okay, so here's like the story I was telling you. Okay, so in May 1806, Jackson fought a duel with Charles Dickinson. And this is
Charles
like the most...
Dickens, or just an unrelated Charles Dickens?
I'm assuming it's not the one you're thinking of, for a reason I won't say yet. They got into an argument over a horse race of all things, and Dickinson allegedly uttered a slur against his wife. Okay, his wife. We'll put a pin in his wife because that's an interesting story too. Because it's before. I don't think he was president yet. I know for a reason I won't also disclose. I know that it hasn't.
I like the mystery that's involved with this president that you're
yeah, I know. I'm becoming a good storyteller, Doc.
Yeah. You're like, hey, here's a little tidbit, but I'm not going to talk to you about that in 20 minutes.
I'm just teasing. Okay, so during the duel, Dickinson fired first. So Andrew Jackson had heard rumors that this guy was quite a good shot. And quite fast to the pull trigger. So he thought that his best chance was to rush him and let him shoot at him first. And then by the rules of the duel, he got a shot afterwards.
So his plan was you go back to back. You walk 10 paces. So instead of just turning and shooting, around. He turns and bolts towards the bullet and him and then shoots him.
Yeah. No, wait. But okay, check this out. So during the duel, Dickinson fired first, and the bullet hit Jackson in the chest. That's the one right near his heart. And the wound was not life-threatening because the bullet shattered against his breastbone. And then Jackson, he had one shot, so he aimed and he shot Dickinson and killed him.
And we never saw a Scrooge book again.
Yeah, okay. And then we didn't get Scrooge too.
We didn't get Scrooge too. Still Scrooged.
Still. Speaking of, have you seen that the Scrooged movie?
Spirited? Yeah. I actually watched that. That was the first like holiday movie that's come out in like for a couple of years that I actually thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it too. I really like what's his face,
Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Yeah, he's great.
He's like a sassy guy.
Sassy guy, comedian.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I also love Will
Great
Ferrell.
timing.
I love this new
Yeah, yeah.
era of Will Ferrell where he's just this like weird dad. It's
Yeah,
great.
like an old like kind of a.
He's just
What's
doing
how would you
dad
say?
jokes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all he's
And
doing
he's
right now.
he's
It's
doing a
great.
lot of singing now too. I noticed in his
Yeah.
newer stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
kind of
because I
liking
think
it.
his wife, I think, is either Finnish or Swedish,
Hmm.
and that's why he made. So the movie he came out with
Eurovision?
called the Eurovision. He did that because of his, because they have a house there, so he's been exposed to Eurovision. So I think he's like really into musical stuff now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
My favorite part of Eurovision is when they do that sing. What do they call it? A song along.
A
Do
sing along?
you remember? Yeah, no, I think they call it like a song along.
Or like a song off? I don't know. It's been a while since
Uh,
I watched it.
I will also mention that Rachel McAdams is also in that.
She is also.
The main reason I saw the movie, I think it's called a song along. Song along, yeah. It's a famous singer, yeah, something or other.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so we were talking about
Hits his
Spirited.
breast. Spirited's great. Scrooged to
And
Andrew
then Charles
Jackson.
Dickinson.
Charles Dickinson. We don't get Scrooged to. Andrew Jackson
Okay.
was shot in the heart, exploded on his chest bone, but he lived and killed Charles
he-
Dickens.
Yeah, while his chest was bleeding.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, and then he just lived with Kay. So that's one of his bullets that he just lives in his body. Okay, but also, so here's my favorite part of the story. After he killed this guy, he was kind of a social outcast. This was before he was president, though, so not
Can
that
I just
outcast.
clarify? Who was it that said a slur against the other's wife? Did Charles Dickens say it about?
Yeah, so Charles Dickens said about
Got it,
Andrew
okay.
Jackson's
Got it. Wife.
at a horse race.
Got it.
So, and then here's my favorite part. So, are you familiar with Aaron Burr?
No, but I'm horrible with names.
Okay, so Aaron Burr was vice president to Thomas Jefferson, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But he was most famously known as the person who killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel.
Right.
So Alexander Hamilton shot, because sometimes there was another duel that later in life Andrew Jackson got into another duel with someone else, which I'll get to later. But one common way that they end duels when they want to have a peaceful ending is they'll shoot towards the sky instead of at each other. But
that happened in Bridgerton.
did they? Oh,
Yeah, in their duel, they both because it's a miscommunication where they think that the other has like slighted their sister, and then neither of them do it. The person runs and says, "You're all wrong," whatever, and so they just both aim to the sky
They're
and
like,
shoot, and then that was it. Yeah, sorry.
that's a famous thing in Hamilton too, is because Hamilton died, he shot towards the sky, but Aaron Burr shot him and killed him. So, I guess if you're gonna do that, make sure you're both on the same page.
I mean, I guess that shows the true character of Aaron Burr, where it's like, yeah, of course, Hamilton, I'll shoot to the sky. Hashtag not. Got him.
Hashtag psych.
Hashtag like, got him, loser.
This will be good in the Broadway musical in 2,000 years. Not 2,000 years, 200 years. Okay, however, so Aaron Burr had killed Hamilton at this point, and so Andrew Jackson kind of like became close with him because he was also socially outcast. Two murderers.
Though I would argue that Andrew Jackson was defending his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah? No? Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a slur. Is it worth? I
No,
don't
so did Andrew Jackson say it, or did what's his face?
Charles Dickinson uttered a slur
Oh,
towards
got it. So
his wife Rachel.
Got it. You're saying that the comment didn't warrant him to murder this person, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Yellowstone.
Okay. People are dropping left and right over
Yeah, they're just like, let's kill people for the family, and I'm like, yeah, let's kill people for the family.
Yeah, I don't know. It's but apparently this was what they did back then. So
yeah, it's pretty like honor bound, and yeah, that's why we don't have duels anymore.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had a duel with someone, and then I wanted to shoot towards the sky, but the other guy shot.
Then
me
I
in the
shot
chest.
you.
Oh, it's with you. You're gonna shoot me.
No,
You would shoot to the sky.
I would shoot to the sky. Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn twice as many presidents then.
What? Because I'm not gonna shoot towards the sky. Because I am shooting towards the sky.
If you kill me, you're gonna have to read the Wikipedia pages for all the presidents instead of half.
I'll just do it all AI, and I'll just take all the recordings and have the AI be your voice. Yeah.
With an AI.
I feel like you've said enough words to amalgamate an AI
have.
voice. Yeah.
That's what scares me.
It's all.
That's why I've only uploaded 3 episodes. Okay, so he becomes close with Aaron Burr, and they do a little tour around the States or something like that. And then all of a sudden, the War of 1812 starts.
Gasp.
Actually, I think him and Aaron Burr were like going around the West, kind of.
Just having a bros trip.
Yeah, they were like corralling people for land. I'm assuming they were stealing it from people who were living there before.
Yeah, probably.
This guy's not like a hero. I think he could be strongly criticized today for most of his actions. But remember, he was an orphan.
Aaron Burr or Andrew Jackson?
Both, specifically Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
Like this guy is he was an orphan, so give him he has the orphan card.
Got it.
Okay, so 1812.
No one loved him. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. No one loved him. He kept killing people.
Yeah.
And stealing. Okay, so 1812 hits. Boom boom. He becomes a general. And I didn't really read this part. It was a lot of battles. He gives the shirt off his back, and everyone's like, "This guy's great. He's not the asshole we thought he was."
We've misjudged him. We thought he was a bad orphan. We thought he was
a murdering orphan, like Batman.
He is the justice.
I'm Andrew Jackson.
The deep throat voice.
Yeah.
It's me, Deep Throat.
It kind of sounds like who's the Shredder from Ninja Turtles a little bit, or
Want some pizza?
in the Inspector Gadget. He had an evil
what's that guy's
person
name?
that was always in the dark.
The Claw.
I can't remember the Claw. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And you never even saw him. You just saw him in the opening theme song, right?
Mm-hmm. You'd always see his hand, and he would claw
his
something.
claw. Yeah.
Duh.
And that's all I ever saw. I don't think I ever saw like anything else, like an actual show. Just the opening credits.
Great opening credit, though.
And then Penny, of course, and the dog.
Penny, of course, and the dog. Yeah.
Did you ever see the Matthew Broderick version of Inspector Gadget?
I had to have, but not in a while. Have I seen it again, though?
I think that that would be worth giving a rewatch.
There's a movie era in like the 2000s to 2010 where there are some weird ass movies made, and like it wasn't that long ago, but it's enough that it feels like you're watching a quote unquote old movie.
Wait, this movie came out in 2015?
It came out 2015.
Oh no, sorry, no. There must be a new. It's 1999.
There we go. Yeah. So that little zone there was like when we got like Bring It On, the Bratz movie, The
Cats
live
versus
action
dogs.
Garfield, like a bunch, yeah, Cats versus Dogs, like so many weird movies.
Yeah, there is a lot of spy. I think we already talked about this, but there's many spy movies. In that was peak spy.
Peak spy time.
I'm probably gonna watch Inspector. Whoa, Andy Dick's in this.
You when we have a moment, you have to give us your
Mr.
movie
T.
review as well.
Yeah, I'll do it maybe next. Well, I'll give it 4.1 out of 10 according to IMDb.
Well,
Oh,
what's
is that-
your
Well, I'll have to-
number?
I'll have to give it a watch.
Wait, no,
Directed
no,
by
no.
David Kellogg. Oh, like from
You-
memory?
No. Sorry. You said you were going to watch Avatar over the holidays.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
So
okay.
you got, at the end of this, you got to give our a review, because I'm basing it off of if I go see it, if you like.
I'm giving
Yeah.
you a review right now of Avatar 2.
No, just whenever you get through
Well,
Andrew
when-
Jackson, or it feels proper.
Yeah, this feels proper.
This
We
feels proper.
we're like halfway through what I don't know.
Sure, okay.
So we're on schedule. Okay, so Avatar 2. Well, tell me
Still
what
Avatar.
Yeah, he's still an Avatar. So I guess you were right about last time we talked about how he disposed of his human body, which I didn't remember, but I guess that was true.
I'm so happy that I was right, because, like, afterwards, I was like, did I make that up? Did I just have, like
Must
you
have happened,
backwards?
yeah. It must have
Yeah.
happened in the last half hour, and I was just like, oh, 3-hour movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is another 3-hour movie, by the way. Okay, so how much do you want me to tell you about this?
Here's the thing. I probably won't watch it till it comes available on a streaming service.
Mhm.
So, I'm okay if you spoil most of it, because I feel like I would guess the storyline
Yeah,
anyways.
the plot's not very complicated. It's
Okay.
it's mostly like I remember it. The person I think I said I was going to see it with my mom, right? So I saw it with my mom, and she was like, "Whoa, that was crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, think of how much money that must have cost to make. Just like
Yeah.
every shot is VFX, and it's a lot of water shots too. Like just incredibly expensive." And it's like not a short movie. It's like 3 hours and like 20 minutes or something, which is a long ass movie. Okay, but so picture this scene: Pandora. He's living happy. He has 1 million kids. One of them is Jodie Foster for some reason. Okay, hold on.
Wait, Jodie Foster's one of the kids? What the heck?
Yeah. They never really explained that part. It was just kind of like they're like, how can we get Jodie Foster in this movie?
That's so weird.
So apparently, Jodie Foster's avatar had a baby in the bathtub, and we don't know who it is. But
Wait. Do you mean Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah, what did I say?
It's Jodie Foster.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong movie.
That makes more sense, because Sigourney
Yeah.
Weaver was in the first one. I was like,
Okay,
why
yeah.
did Jodie Foster do it?
Sorry, I was thinking of Hannibal. Okay, so Sigourney Weaver is in it as Avatar.
Interesting.
Who's a teenager.
Got it. So that's okay. Now I really gotta watch it, because she dies in the first one, but then
How does she die? I should rewatch it first.
I forget how she dies, but I remember they like give her to the tree, and she like
Oh,
becomes
yeah, I do
one
remember
with the
that.
planet.
Maybe that's how she was born. Then.
So then, like, her spirit was reborn through somebody.
the tree had a baby with her avatar. I don't know, maybe.
Jodie Foster.
So Jodie Foster. Okay, so Sigourney Weaver and is one of his kids, and he has I think he has 4 kids.
Okay.
With-
And one of
with,
them's human.
So you're thinking of the guy named Spider. So do you know who that person's dad is?
Is it, like an evil dude?
It's the Scarface guy.
Jeremy Irons?
No, Jeremy.
Oh,
no,
Al Pacino.
No, the Scarface guy from the first movie who dies. He's like the bad guy.
Got it. The big G.I. Joe guy who was in like the little Rock'em Sock'em Robot exoskeleton. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's his kid.
Yeah, so he had a kid apparently, which I didn't know or forgot. And then when he died, the kid was too young to leave, so because everyone, all that like humans left, so they just left the kid there. And
Jesus.
then the Navi raised him, and the two scientists. And then so this is just going to be me explaining for 3 hours of the movie. But so everyone's left. Colonization has been fixed. Everyone's happy. And then guess what?
No more drilling for unobtainium.
Yep. Yeah. They're like we I forget what it does, but we don't need it anymore.
Turns out it's unattainable, so we're not gonna drill for unobtainium.
Not worth it. And then guess what? As the British do, they return.
Psych, got him.
Just like 1812, they come back, and then they're like, "Oh, not again! We already did this." And then but this time the catch is it's Scarface again, except he has a Scarface avatar that was growing before he died, and then they sent it to the planet. And so he wants to kill Jake Sully, and that's the plot basically. And then he's like on the run.
So I gotta know the lore of that, because that means they've somehow discovered how to take somebody's consciousness and like download it to a hard drive to then implant it into an avatar.
Because he did say that like you have my memories up to the point before I died, so I don't know. So he had a beef. He had enough of a beef to have a plot.
Got it. That's an interesting choice of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. And the way it's called the Way of the Water is because they like leave their tree climbing tribe for a water tribe. Which is pretty cool.
Join forces.
Mm-hmm. There's one really cool scene that I really like, but I'll wait till you see it. Okay. That's like the first 40 minutes, by the way, so I didn't spoil too much.
Cool. What's your rating of it? Out of 5.
The plot was quite simple. But the visual effects were incredible, and there's really cool. There's this one really cool scene with in the water that I really liked. I'd give it like a 7 or 8.
Okay, out of 10. Cool. I guess what saves is all the technical advances, like the visual effects of it all. Yeah. Okay.
Like a certain point in me is like, surely we could have made a better plot for all these visual effects shots. Like.
And 11 years later.
Yeah, exactly. We've been waiting. So IMDb gave it a 7.9. So I think we're on the same page.
That's fair. Interesting. All right.
Pretty. I'd watch it. You don't have to watch all at once. It's a long movie. Cool. And that's my Deep Throat's review of Avatar 2.
That's your jingle.
We should put like Avatar sound effects in the background.
I don't even know what the like theme song of Avatar is.
Me neither.
You know how like there's like a score where you've got like a bass song for like certain series? I can't even think of like what the music is. It's been so long.
It was a long time. It was 2009 it came out. I remember back then I was like, whoa, I'm going to see this again.
Whoa. I mean, it was like, when Avatar came out, it was a huge thing. It started, people are, like, tattooed as avatars. Like, it resonated with people. Yeah, people are, if you look up, people have gotten fully tattooed as, like, blue, like, to get the, like, stripes and, like, skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
And have like... You know, there's like alive babies where they're like
live
squishy.
Babies?
Like there's these like alive. There's like these dolls that are called alive babies, which are like
they're not
really photoreal. They're not actual babies, but they're
like
all just
like
plastic.
A real doll for babies.
No, well, kind of. They originally were made for people who were struggling, who had lost their kids, but then people have just been buying them to have them, and people have modified them to look like Avatar babies.
And do they carry them around?
Yeah.
Oh,
they just have these like really squishy silicone babies that look like real from the movie, but are just dolls that are stationary.
Have you ever seen the show How To with John Wilson?
No.
It's like a guy in New York he just like gets in the weirdest, like he just rambles around with the video camera. Rambles, is that word? Yeah, he just wanders around, rambles and wanders, and he just comes into like all these strange situations. And he found himself in the Avatar like super fan convention. And every like all the food there was blue, and everyone was talking about how Avatar changed their life and everything. It was pretty funny. I just like didn't
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people like were spiritually connected to this movie, which is interesting. Okay, so back. Let's get back on track here. So.
All right. Back on to Andrew Jackson hated the Avatar movie.
Mm-hmm. He was actually a big inspiration with all his colonialism, I'm sure. A colonizer. Okay, so we're at 1812. He so by the end of the war he gets a pretty big. I'm sure that's where the other bullet came from actually.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh wait, I'm on the wrong page. I'm looking at John Quincy Adams.
Classic.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's where he got his second bullet in the War of 1812. But I can't be bothered to remember all this. It's just a lot of battles. You know how it is.
You know how it is.
Battle after battle.
Colonize a nation and stray bullets are flying.
Yep, you managed to catch a few in the chest. Okay, so here's where the story gets juicy. He's a general and he has a big reputation and people start knowing his name and how great he is at fighting wars, which makes you a good president. So in the run up to the election, people start, you know how they did back then, they start doing slurs and spreading gossip about one's wife, Rachel.
Ah, yes.
And apparently it got so bad, all this gossiping and stuff, that she had a heart attack just mere days or weeks before he was actually president.
Wow.
So
she just couldn't take the paparazzi of that world of the gossip going
she's
through.
like the Lady Diana of presidents.
Yeah, she had great sweaters and wore amazing sneakers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. Check this out. Andrew Jackson, a Freemason.
Interesting. Interesting too that Jesus, I can't. My short and long-term memory has shot the bed. So John Quincy Adams was against the Masons.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next president is a Mason. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, apparently they had like a big beef with each other.
I mean, that
from
makes
my
sense.
memory.
'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because if John Quincy Adams was a part of an anti-Masons society trying to get them out, that would make sense that they weren't buds.
Okay, so his wife just dies and he becomes president. Let me just do a reading here.
Sorry, I thought you needed to read some stuff, so I was going to try and fill the void, but I realized you meant out loud, maybe?
No. Oh yeah, so she was cute. Oh yeah, also the rumors were that she was an adulterer because she was still married legally, but she left her husband and then lived with Andrew Jackson.
Wow.
This was out in the West, in the New Frontier, which apparently that was common.
Well, yeah, because you basically were away from society, the kind of up and hoity high society, and I would argue, of course, people got married back then when they were 17, 18, so you grow up and you're like, I don't know this person, this is not what I wanted to do, and you go out west and you meet a cowboy and you're like, well, see you later, husband, I'm gonna go live with this cowboy now. So that tracks.
Yeah. Okay, so in my experience, his presidency was kind of boring, but it also had a lot of shit that probably wouldn't fly today. But check this out. There's a thing called the Petticoat Affair. This was apparently the biggest drama of the time, and I'll just read it because I don't even remember. It was so dull. I don't even remember what it was. Okay, so Jackson spent most of his time during his first 2.5 years in office dealing with what became known as the Petticoat Affair. The affair focused on Secretary of War Eaton's wife, Margaret. She had a reputation for being promiscuous, and like Rachel Jackson, she was accused of adultery. She and Eaton had been close before her first husband, John Timberlake, not to be confused with Justin Timberlake, died. And they married. So it's kind of the same thing. So as his wife. So I'm assuming that he would empathize with the situation. Mm-hmm. And so he came to her defense, and her presence split the cabinet. So it was like, pretty dull, as I said. And he demanded the resignations of everyone in the cabinet.
I'd be interested to know why they called it the Petticoat Affair. I guess because women wore petticoats and she was involved.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or maybe that was one of the, like, quote-unquote slurs they used to call her, like, the petticoat lifter or something. They were saying that she was, like, a floozy woman even though she wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't say why it was. It's also known as the Eden Affair, which was her last name.
That makes more sense, because, yeah. Interesting.
Maybe it was another way in which they denigrated women.
Classic
men in the 1800s. And then like the other controversy of his presidency was the Indian Removal Act. So he passed an act that would basically get all the people who had lived there before to just go west. Like there's land that we don't yet consider America that you can just live on, and they just bribed and forced and fought until everyone just kind of headed west.
I think that was probably the start of the reservations too.
Yeah, it was the start. I think they gave them a lot more land than they do now. Yeah,
but they still were basically moving in, building houses, and being like, "This is our land now," even though you've lived here for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. Okay, bye. Yeah. Keep going that way.
Mm-hmm. Known as the Trail of Tears, of course, for everyone who studies history. And those, like, one of them is a lot more controversial than the other, the Petticoat Affair and the Indian Removal Act. Mm-hmm. And those were like the two main things, I think, from his. Oh yeah, okay. Here's another good thing: physical assault and assassination attempt. So, he was the first president to be subjected to an assassination attempt. It was failed, of course. But on May 6, 1833, Robert B. Randolph struck Jackson in the face with his hand because Jackson had ordered... this isn't the same thing I'm thinking of. Richard Lawrence. Okay, so there's a guy in January 30th, 1835, a man named Richard Lawrence from England. He had pulled a pistol out of his jacket and it misfired, and so he pulled a second pistol out and it misfired again, and then Andrew Jackson smacked him in the face, and then he was arrested.
Smacked him.
Mm-hmm.
That's some bad luck. Do you think? I wonder if the guy just like didn't take care of his guns properly, and so they were just like both jammed.
Yeah, apparently it was like really hot out, so he was sweaty. So I think that's what the theory is that the gunpowder was wet. But they later did some research on the weapons, and they both fired fine. So I think he took it to mean that he was meant to be alive. It was like a message from God.
Yeah.
And then that's like kind of what I got for you.
That's that he's had a lot more of an interesting life drama-wise than the rest of them.
Yeah, like it's always interesting when your whole family dies at the beginning of your life. It makes for a
That's true.
good story.
Origin story, as you say.
Even if it gets as controversial as something called the Petticoat Affair.
The Petticoat Affair. Wild. I did find, this is the one thing that I clicked that I thought was interesting, is the settlement that because he was, I guess, born in North Carolina, I think?
I think so. He was born, out in the West, as it was at the
But
time.
it was before Carolina, North and South became those states, and they called it the Waxhaws, which was it's like a region where of North and South Carolina that the region encompasses an area south of Charlotte, North Carolina to Lancaster, South Carolina, and from Monroe, North Carolina. So basically it was this like giant settlement that everyone came through and like lived, and that would make sense that he would live basically in an area, and then the British would have like kicked them out and been like, no, this is ours now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did the British get there?
Well, because the British, and Columbus came to the Americas first.
Oh, right. This was
before. Claimed it all.
Before, I see.
Yeah. And so they would have, instead of making states, they would have had little settlements and like just kind of been like, all right, this is the Waxhaw area. And we're gonna send people out there to go like start a new life in a new country. Basically, we're gonna ask for farmers and ranchers and all of those fun people to go hang out there. And then of course generations were born and lived here, and then they were like, hey, we hate the Brits, get out. I know technically my great grandfather was a British man, but screw you, get out of my country. And then that's how we got America.
Oh, also one thing I should note, just for our visual map of what it's like at the time, they clinched Texas. They got Texas
Yes.
in this presidency, I believe.
Yes. And Burr was involved, because I also clicked a link called the Burr Conspiracy.
I think that's what he did after he shot
Killed Hamilton.
Charles Dickinson. Yeah, after they murdered two people, they're like, look, we should get Texas and
after they
get our names back.
their beef.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
killed one of the greatest men of all times, but we got Texas for you.
Yeah, so this is, so according to the accusations against Burr, he attempted to use his international connections and support a cabal of U.S. planters, politicians, and army officers to establish an independent country in the southwest of the United States.
Oh, so it was a country
so basically,
before.
Yeah, he tried to make it a Texas territory separate from the Americas. But
Is that because he beefed it up so bad that he felt he had to make a new country?
I think so. Like, I think, obviously you've got a bunch of lawyers and politicians and these big thinkers that are all kind of debating. And he's like, you know what? I hate Alexander Hamilton. I shot him.
That guy,
I think my way is the right way. I'm going to go to Texas and make my own country because I don't believe in your Washington, Massachusetts madness. But then Jefferson basically indicted him for treason, and he wasn't able to go through with it. And so Texas stayed a part of America. The true intentions were unclear, though, but they suspect that he claimed... some claim that he intended to take parts of Texas and newly acquired Louisiana purchase for himself. So he was did the purchase and I think helped Andrew Jackson do it, but then his full plan was to just make it his own country, but then didn't.
So who owned Texas? Who claimed that they owned Texas?
Oh, I think it was. It had to have been the Spanish, I would suspect.
Yeah,
because I know the Spanish went to South America and Mexico and had claimed a lot of that area originally. So they would have bought it from the Spaniards. But don't quote me. I did not look that up. But that's
we are a bunch of naive people.
Yeah. I'm just basing this off of knowledge from many years ago and kind of guesstimating. I also get all of my information from
Wikipedia.
television and movies.
And Broadway musicals.
And Broadway musicals. I let other people research it and then do a dramatized version of it for me.
I won't possibly listen to it until it's in this form of a song.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if we did that for kids, they'd probably pay attention more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta rap all this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, rap the American Constitution to me, and I'll probably remember it.
Yeah. It's really, we really should, like, it's a shame we can't do, like, podcasts about Aaron Burr and, like, Alexander Hamilton, because they were all very interesting. Like, I think arguably Alexander Hamilton's one of the most interesting stories. Also an orphan.
Yeah, I think. And hey, yeah, there's a podcast just talk about famous orphans.
Yeah. My favorite orphan.
Yeah, my favorite orphan.
Batman. Alexander
Mine's Annie.
Hamilton. Oh, she's a good one. Of course.
She's a great one.
But is she an orphan if she's got Daddy Warbucks?
Well, she just starts out as an orphan and then gets adopted. And then technically you're an orphan until you're 18, then you're no longer an orphan, you're an adult.
Oh. But your
so
parents are
either you
still
get adopted
dead.
or you grow up. Yeah, your parents are still dead, but then you're just an adult with dead parents.
That, which sucks. Yeah.
Which sucks.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I do think that there was... I think I agree. Andrew Burr, Alexander Hamilton, and I would expect there's a lot more other people that surrounded these presidents in the early days that kind of
like
worked
Benjamin
from...
Franklin, of course.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of great minds that helped shape it but didn't want to be in the spotlight. And honestly, I feel like they're probably more interesting and more...
probably better people.
Nice people.
Yeah,
better people.
I bet.
They didn't have the ego to be president.
Mm-hmm. It's really a shame. Speaking of politics, have you been following the current situation that's happening right now?
No.
So the midterms happened, and the Republicans have the majority of the House, and they can't do anything until they choose who's going to be Speaker of the House. So they have to have a vote on it. But what's happening is they don't have a majority because the Republican side is so polarized, and like some of them are really radical, like Trump, QAnon. Well, not
so like within the Republican Party, they're not agreeing.
Yeah, they're fractured there too. So they can't do anything until they have the Speaker of the House. So they just all day today they just kept holding a vote like every hour. And just no one changed. And it's just they have to have a vote every hour, and then everyone votes for the same person they voted last hour. And they're stuck in like a Groundhog Day loop.
That's hilarious. Great show.
Groundhog Day.
For the first maybe 2 seasons. Well, also great movie, Groundhog Day. But House of Cards, I really liked, and then it started to fall off when the whole Kevin Spacey conspiracy, or not conspiracy,
didn't they kill him off?
Came forward. They killed him off, and then his wife
it.
became... Yeah. The first 2 seasons are the best, and then it kind of loses its mark. But that show is what made me understand a lot about American politics, where they like whip votes and have all those like secret meetings where they have this like schmoozing up until that vote to be like, hey, if you vote for this person, I'll make sure you get a tax benefit on your gas for your county or your state or whatever. And so I love them just sitting there over and over again, probably trying to like swing somebody over to their side, be like, I'll promise to give you this and this tax benefit, or I know somebody that works in this energy business that will give you something or whatever.
Gotta grease those
which
wheels.
Is so wild.
The funny thing is like they have to negotiate with these like far right like Trump backed which is crazy. Good luck. Good luck to you.
I know.
Sometimes you just gotta push someone in front of a subway, as seen in House of Cards.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler! Oh yes, sir.
One of House of Cards.
Spoilers, or maybe that doesn't happen. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe he's lying.
Maybe I'm talking about a Subway sandwich store. Push them into a Subway sandwich.
A Quiznos.
Quiznos. Whatever happened to Quiznos? Did they go to business?
I don't know. Because there's the Firehouse sandwich now, so maybe they just rebranded.
Oh, do you think so?
Maybe. I haven't seen a Quiznos in a while.
Yeah, I think like they just went out of business. Like all the ones that I knew are closed now.
Yeah.
I did.
The one that I can never eat at is Mr. Sub, just because the one
Yeah,
that
gross.
I grew up next to was really gross.
I think they
and
all
so
were.
anytime I see it, yeah, it just makes me gag.
Quiznos was
Just
always
think of
the
soggy
best, I
bread.
think.
Quiznos had really good topping options and good bread.
Quiznos was
I
the
would put it
original
quality.
toasters, you know.
Yeah.
Before Subway, for all of you youngins in the audience, there was a time when Subway never toasted you, and that was like a
Nope,
big
it
deal.
was just a cold sandwich.
That was like a huge deal back then. We're like, oh, Quiznos, what's your next move? And then they went
a
out of
hot
business.
sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a damn shame because they was delicious Quiznos.
Mhm.
But Subway's good too, I guess.
Yeah.
So
It's the illusionary healthy fast food.
yeah, as long as the lettuce is green, it's healthy. I guess.
I have a hot take actually. I don't usually put lettuce on my Subway.
Whoa, really? Do you put spinach
Yeah,
on?
no. No, I just do green pepper.
Ah,
Just a lot of
you gotta
green
have
pepper.
some
'Cause
color on there.
Because I feel like one, I find their lettuce not super fresh, and then they overfill it, and then I can't get other toppings on it.
There was a brief time
They
when
just
I
say
did
no
spinach
lettuce.
instead of lettuce. I should go back to that.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm also really scared of the E. coli.
Right. Oh yeah. You never know,
Yeah.
like how old that lettuce is.
Exactly.
The reason I stopped doing the spinach thing was because someone looked at me strange. They're like, "You don't want lettuce?" I'm like,
Screw that person.
"Yeah, I know. Why am I letting that affect me?"
Yeah, because also spinach is better for you
Exactly.
than lettuce is. It's got iron in it.
Yeah.
Who's that person? I'm gonna kick
I
their
don't
ass.
remember. I can't remember. Maybe it's a good thing. You should have a duel with them.
Yeah.
Over
and I
something
won't
as
shoot
stupid.
this guy.
Yeah,
I'll
shoot
just
him.
run towards them yelling
Shoot 'em.
spinach.
Yeah, and if they wait, shoot them, right in the heart.
Shoot him.
Fuck.
All right, I'm gonna
fuck
have to go
that
practice.
person. Good.
Can we have a virtual duel?
Yeah, we could have like a VR
better-
duel.
Yeah, I'm better at that.
Pew, pew. I would,
Pew, pew.
There should be a thing. I'm sure it is. So tell me, favorite president? Yes or no?
I mean, I guess if this was reality TV show rules, he would probably be my favorite just for the drama that has ensued. But I feel like he was kind of a shitty person.
Yeah, I agree. He was like he was a good guy when he had to be, like when it was advantageous to him. It seems.
Yeah.
Not that I want to judge him completely, but
Points for hair, points for living
points
with a
for hair.
bullet by his heart.
he gets orphan points.
Orphan points. But
Uh,
I feel like
the duel
then
was
I feel like
cool.
that duel was cool, but then like having slaves brings him down like
Yeah.
5 points, so that just brings him back down to 0 again. So I still think the Addams Family is still my favorite so far.
The Addams Family.
Yeah, like John Adams
Addams
and
I think it's going to be hard to beat those two for a considerable
yeah.
amount of time.
I mean, until we get to like
Abraham
more
Lincoln.
modern.
Who
well.
who is after? I finally bookmarked the president's page because I go there every time. Okay, so
Every
who
day.
we have next? So James, we did
Is it Martin
Martin Van Buren.
Buren?
Oh, and then I
That's
get
who
to
I
do the
gotta
big
do.
nose guy.
Big nose guy. There's something about him, but I feel like I don't want to judge face value because I don't want my heart to get broken. But he just looks like an adorable grandpa to me, and I
The
want him
big-nosed
to be
guy?
so kind. Yeah.
Look at Martin Van Buren's photo on his page. He has like he has like 2 tufts of hair coming out, like his head and his beard. It's like 2 white things coming out of the side of his head.
He's got cotton candy. Also, his name sounds like a James Bond villain,
Yeah, Van Buren.
so I'm worried. Yeah, listeners, I'm
Dutch.
writing it down on a Post-it note just in case.
Dutch.
Because last time I got ahead, so I'm writing it down to remind myself which president I need to look at before next episode.
I-
Because I don't want to do that again.
I think this guy was Dutch.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why
The
it's
Van Buren
yours.
last name.
Yeah.
Oh, a Dutch for a Dutch.
A Dutch
I'm
for
not
Dutch.
Dutch though. My name is Dutch, but I'm not Dutch.
Well, I'm not really a deep throat. Ah. Well, should we give a little teaser for next week?
For next week?
Well, look at the size of this guy's forehead when he was young. My goodness. Okay, well that's the teaser, I guess.
That's
This
the teaser.
guy has a massive forehead.
He's got the close-up image is not a fun time. It's some bad photography on the photographer's side. Oh, they did a digital reconstruction of what he would have looked like. It looks kind of frightening.
How did they do that?
It looks like they did like a wax. I'll send it.
I saw that.
It just-
Someone had a death mask. That's a. Have you ever heard of those?
Oh God, is that where they make a version like
Oh,
they
yeah.
like plaster their face?
I think they I think they just do a plaster of their face once they die, and then everyone can
Jeez.
look at you for the rest of their lives.
Man, that's wild.
I should have it.
Yeah, he had crazy hair, man.
Mm-hmm. I guess back then they didn't have. Well, I don't know. They didn't.
I think it was just style. It was just what was in fashion versus then and now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we grew up in a generation of hockey hair, which is
That's true.
That's not so far off of a lot of these puffy
That will
hairs.
not be looked upon kindly in the future. But it was for hockey.
Cool.
All right, Dutch.
We did it, folks.
We did
Episode 7.
Episode 7.
Man, these hours go quick now. At least it feels like they do.
Yeah. Well, it's like an Avatar. It's like a third of an Avatar movie, you know?
There you go. You could either watch Avatar
Or
or you can
listen to all our
3
podcasts
episodes
that are uploaded right now.
that are available.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start up. I'm gonna just take the old one off and then upload the next one until we figure
Up
out
the
a better
next one,
solution.
Yeah, because I keep looking and I only half read it, and then something distracts me because I have a goldfish memory.
Me too. That's why I can't remember anything that we've ever learned. George who? George Washington who?
What?
All right.
Huh? President? I don't think so.
I wish all you viewers a pleasant night.
Happy New
Sweet
Year.
dreams.
It'll be delayed when you hear this.
Yeah, it'll
recording,
probably be
but
like
hey,
March at this rate.
It's fine. So, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy spring. Don't
spring.
forget to change your clocks.
Spring hath sprungeth. Bye-bye.
Bye.